Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to glorysom blog. This video is about removing the restrictions and flying your DJI drone over 15 meters height. So let's get started. So how did we get here? You see that the Indian drone laws states that as per DGCA, you cannot fly your drone in India over 15-meter height unless you have the permit for it. So the DJI has gone ahead and put the restriction on the app stating that if you are flying your drone from India region, you cannot take off above 15 meters height. Also, the RTH, which is return to home function, is also restricted to 15 meters height. There is, however, no restriction on the distance you can fly. But at the same time, DJI is also restricted by the FTI regulations for the data privacy reason that you should allow your drone to be flown by anybody who owns it without even transmitting the data over the internet, right? This is done to ensure that you are protected all the time so that the DJI do not know where you are flying this drone. You will have full manual control over wherever you are flying your drone, even across the geofencing and no-fly zones. The restrictions will not be applicable anymore because you're gonna run your app through a mode called local data mode. What it essentially does is that it cuts out all the connections with the DJI server, and the app do not transmit all the information about the drone's locations, and this way you have the full privacy. Also, this video is going to be a bit lengthy but worth sticking till the end of the video because you will learn why this works and also know about the background story about it. I have prepared the whole guide and it is available for download by following the link in the description below. But before we go ahead and start up the entire process of resetting your devices to work with the local mode, let's learn what local mode does and how it works. From this document on the left hand side, you will find a tab called Data Privacy under Part 3. Click on it and it will show you a link. So click on this link and open up a new page to read this. Here you will see that the DJI is giving an explanation about data privacy and the cybersecurity concerns that people will have, including the government agencies. While doing this research on local data mode, I came to know that it is easy to use function and it effectively removes the privacy concerns by eliminating the internet connectivity of the app with the DJI server. Here in this section, I am highlighting the region where it says that it is allowing the commercial and the government customers to use the local data mode for their own governmental use. As per the FTI, when you're running the app on local data mode, it will allow you to use map services from Mapbox. But that is not the case for the Indian user. When you enable the local data mode, you won't be able to use any map function. But the good thing is that the DJI aircraft still logs on to the GPS coordinates from the place you are flying your drone. It locks in your home point and it also stores the same in your app so that later when you disable the local data mode, you will be able to run the features again and see where you have flown the device. Next, this section here explains the whole new local data mode and how it works. Now here is the interesting part. As per this statement, you see that the DJI drone is controlled by the flight control app, which is the DJI FLY App or the DJI Go app that we use in order to fly our drones. When you further read this section, it specifically mentions that this way the DJI server receives the information whenever you are using this app, because you are running the internet on it, and also the data that is being captured by your drone and this controller, and also the GPS coordinates using your phone is all transmitted to the DJI server. And this way the DJI understands where you are located so that it can apply the local regulatory settings in order to avoid you from flying over 15 meters height. Also gives you fly safe database update options. It also pushes you to update your app, which sometimes we don't want to do, right? So the DJI states that as per their ongoing commitment to cybersecurity and data privacy, they are allowing you to use the app on the local data mode so that you can have full manual control. Now what this means for us is we can enter into this mode and hack into our devices, that is the aircraft and the remote controller, in order to do anything that we like with our drone, right? We can fly to the limit it has been set on the aircraft, and also the settings can be found on the controller. Now we are going to begin with the tutorial. Please note that this tutorial is for educational purpose only. You are responsible for all the legal laws, rules and regulations of your respective countries for flying a drone. Please acknowledge the drone laws of your local regions and also the international regions where you will be flying. On this document, on the left hand side under the Android section, click on the part 1, which is fake GPS installation. You can click on this link to download the app from the Play Store. I already have the fake GPS installed on my phone. After you have installed the application, kindly launch the application and choose a region of your choice. Here I'm going to choose North Carolina and click on this green play button. Here to check that I have changed my location to North Carolina, I'm opening the Google map to check that. Please turn on the Wi-Fi or the internet on your phone in order for the map to load on the Google Maps. Now we are sure that fake GPS is running okay because it is showing in the Google Maps that I am located in North Carolina. Please turn off the internet again. In case you get an error, it means you have not enabled the GPS. So go to your phone setting and enable the GPS, and also enable the developer mode. Additionally, you would also need to turn on the mock locations. Moving on to part 2, DJI FLY App Installations. You can either download the latest version from the official Play Store or use the older version from the download link below. In this example, I have used the older version of DJI FLY App, which is version 1.1.10 for the Android. The link is given here, which you can download from the APK Mirror website. Please choose the version 2045347 APK. I have included the link which is in this document, so download that application and install it on your Android device. Here my recommendations would be to stick to the older version of DJI FLY App version 1.1.10. This will ensure that you are not stuck in between the whole tutorial and avoid wasting your own time. I am going to skip the whole app installation process because that is pretty much straightforward and anybody can do it. Now we will move to the part 3, which is activating local data mode. Please follow these steps. Step 1. Launch the application and log into your DJI account. Step 2. click on the profile icon, then click on settings, then click on privacy, and on the right hand side you will find the local data mode. I already have my data mode turned on. After you see the prompt on the screen, close the app. Step 4. Relaunch the application and check whether the local data mode is successfully turned on or not. Here I am in the camera view mode and I'm checking the settings on the app. You see that when I click on the About page section here, my app version is 1.1.10. Now we are ready to move on to the next part, which is part 4, preparing your remote controller. In these steps, we will configure our controller to work with the DJI FLY app. Step 1. Either turn off the internet or put it on airplane mode. Step 2. Please launch the app and connect the phone with the remote controller. Step 3. Press the power button to turn on the remote controller. Wait for a minute for the remote controller to initialize with the app and the GPS location on the phone. Step 4. After successfully connecting the remote controller with the app, leave it aside for another 1 minute. In the background, the DJI FLY app will configure or prepare the remote controller with the GPS coordinates through your phone. Please ensure that the GPS is turned on the phone and the fake GPS apps is also running in the background. After performing all these steps, if you try to make changes to the altitude, you will see that it don't make any changes. The settings don't save itself, right? But don't worry, we are not done with this tutorial yet, and that's where the next part comes in. In part 5, we will connect the aircraft with the remote controller. Turn on the aircraft and wait for it to connect with the remote controller. Then under safety option, check the altitude, distance and RTH. Now you will be able to change the altitude settings, RTH settings and also the distance settings. If you exit the app and re-enter the safety settings, you will see that our app is able to retain the last information that was saved on the app. Congratulations, now you are ready to fly your drone over 15 meters limit. Now before we begin the tutorial for the iOS iPhone users, we need to turn off the aircraft. In order to prepare your iOS device or iPhone, you will need to have a spare Android device handy with you. First, prepare your Android phone using all the steps mentioned above for the Android users. You cannot bypass these options unless you are living in the US or Europe. Unlike Android, we cannot fake the GPS positions on the iPhone, so we have to follow the procedures given above for the Android. Under the Part A section, you will find the procedure to install the DJI FLY app. So please install the latest version of DJI FLY app from the official App Store. In this example, I'm going to use DJI FLY version 1.2.2, which is currently the latest version. After you have successfully installed your DJI FLY app on your iPhone, kindly log into your account and then go to the profile section, then click on settings, then click on privacy and then go to local data mode. Now turn on the local data mode and close the app after the on-screen prompt. Here I already have my local data mode turned on. Next step, relaunch the application and check whether the local data mode is successfully turned on or not by following the previous 2 steps. In part B, we will look at connecting the iPhone to the remote controller. Before beginning the process, please ensure that the internet is turned off and the GPS location is turned on your iPhone. please turn off your aircraft also. Step 1. Launch the application and enter the camera view mode. Then connect the remote controller with the iPhone. Now wait for the remote controller to throw all the altitude, distance and RTH settings to your iPhone. The information will be copied from the previous Android device settings done on the remote controller. Now turn on the aircraft and wait for it to connect with the remote controller. Once the aircraft is connected, review the altitude settings for RTH and distance, and now you are ready to fly. Please note that you cannot change the altitude here. To change the altitude, you need to change using the original Android phone used in the above procedure. So choose the right altitude settings that you are comfortable to fly with. Now in the next step, you are ready to take off your drone and fly over 15 meters limit. Congratulations, you have successfully completed this tutorial. Enjoy flying. And now we will do some test flights and see whether we can fly our drone over 15 meters limit after performing all the steps. Here I am just checking all the settings on my app, which is version 1.2.2 on my iPhone, before taking off. After you are happy with all the settings on the app, you can take off. You can either use the takeoff icon from the app or by using the controller key combinations. Usually I fly using the manual transmissions, so here I am looking for the channel which has the least amount of interference. Great, now our drone is in the air and we can control it, fly it the way we want it. Here I am doing a quick altitude test, which was the entire goal of this whole video tutorial. Please note that when you are flying in the local data mode, you will not be able to use the map function if you are located here in India. For other locations like US or the Europe region, I believe you can use the map box. I haven't tested the map box here in India yet, so I cannot comment much on it. Here you can see my DJI Mavic Mini is cruising up in the sky and has gotten past 40 plus meters already. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you so much guys for being patient with this video. If you have found this tutorial to be helpful and if you are able to make changes to your drone and you were able to fly above 15 meters height, please give a thumbs up to this video and consider subscribing. If you have any questions, please put it down in the comment below, or you can also check the frequently asked questions from the document. There are some questions which I have put up, which I usually pick from the comment sections and place it there for any solutions that might be helpful for the drone users. So cheers guys, happy flying, safe flying, bye bye.